Hi everyone, I hope everyone's doing well. I thought I might do a video on a little bit about my own spiritual awakening and just some of the things I've learned in that process. Kind of give some context to where I am today and also to kind of speak to people who might be going through their own spiritual awakening experience. Just kind of give some feedback and kind of what I went through to make you understand that this might be what's happening to you. So, essentially, in the spring of 2024, I had a pretty profound spiritual awakening, but I think I'd really been on the path for longer than that. I think it probably started maybe during COVID, maybe during 2020, 2021, something around that time period. Um, I had begun to watch a lot of near death experience videos. And I just listened to these accounts over and over and began to really wonder. I knew that I didn't really understand the full story of what was happening in this earthly experience, but I just heard all of these accounts of there being something much different than this material world going on. And in the preceding years, up to that point, I'd been a real materialist, really questioning of social institutions, no religious interest. I really had a quite negative view of religion in general. I just kind of put spirituality and religion in one bucket and rejected it wholly. I didn't really give it a chance at all. I just thought, well, what I've heard, I don't think I believe in. I feel like I'm getting some negative energy of like control and that kind of thing from religion. And so I just never really gave spirituality a chance until this time period, 2020, 2021. So it kind of started with the near death experience videos, and then it kind of moved into some other material. My spirit guides told me that they led me to the Law of One because all of a sudden I just felt drawn to listen to this channeled text. I didn't even know what a channeled text was, I had no clue. But I felt drawn to listen via an audio book around that time, 2021, The Law of One. And almost instantly, I felt like I was listening to the truth. I mean, it was just so profound to me. And I tried to get people around me to listen to it and to read it and to take it in. And they just couldn't handle it, basically. They were just not open to receiving it. They just weren't. So I just kind of went on my own path and kind of started to look at some different material like Dolores Cannon. I started to read The Three Waves of Volunteers and some of Dolores Cannon's work, and Edgar Cayce and some other channelers like Daniel Scranton, Wendy Kennedy, Bashar. It kind of led me up to this kind of point where I thought, well, I'm going to try to reach out to the astral plane myself. I'm going to reach out, and if there's really something going on, then the universe is going to talk back to me. So I wanted to have that experience. So I did. I reached out via pendulum to a lost loved one who crossed over maybe approximately 10 years ago or so. And I knew in that moment that I was connected to another consciousness. I was connected to either this lost loved one or another level of consciousness who knew the answers to the questions I was asking this lost loved one. And at that point, I thought, well, okay, so this is kind of going deeper than I even thought. And I'm going to try to connect with my spirit guides because I'd heard other people talk about that, and I thought it was just kind of made up. I thought, spirit guide, what is this? I don't even know what this is. But it was just almost like the next step in my journey. So I asked to speak to my spirit guides, and almost instantly, like during the night, I think it was, I started to get telepathic messages from other beings. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Like I'd connected with this consciousness via the pendulum, and now I'm getting telepathic contact. And it was actually really frightening at first. It was scary to me. I didn't know what was happening. I was just frightened. And, you know, I felt like I needed to reach out to other people who were having these types of experiences. So I actually found I guess he was like an alien abductee who was in telepathic contact with higher frequency beings, and he'd had all kinds of spiritual experiences. I just, for some reason, I just really resonated with him. He was just a guy on YouTube, but he was giving sessions, and I thought, I need to connect with this guy because he knows he's having some of the same experiences I am, and the people around me weren't ready to hear it at all, and I needed to connect with someone who understood what I was going through. So I set up a couple of sessions with him, and he basically told me, you know, you are a divine being having a temporary human experience, and you are moving up in vibration and frequency, and you are connecting to all that is, which is you. You're reconnecting to you, like you're relearning or remembering who you truly are. And so that's what's happening here. And once I was able to kind of absorb that and put it into, get out of the fear mode, it was like the whole world opened up. And I connected to higher frequency beings telepathically without having any sense of fear about those interactions. And it's just been an amazing journey since then. And essentially what they've told me is that we are sparks of the divine, fractals of source consciousness, having these temporary human experiences for soul growth. So that is why we are here. And we come into the experience with spiritual amnesia, so we don't remember who we truly are. We're under the veil of forgetting. So we have to kind of work our way back to that knowledge of who we truly are. And it comes within the context of beings who are trying to prevent us from knowing who we truly are. And that's an element that is the reason why light workers incarnated, to help in that process, because they're those in power who don't want us to remember who we are, because if we understood who we truly are, they would not be needed anymore, because we are sparks of the divine and we don't need to live our lives giving our I can never say this word, our power, I'll say, I can't even say it anyway, giving our power to outside sources outside of ourselves, because we are the universe. We are the one infinite creator, and we don't need to live our lives through giving our power away to external institutions and just governments and beings who say, we've got the answers for you, come to us, don't look at yourself, don't look within yourself for answers, come to us for answers, we can help you. That's not what's happening. The true nature of reality is that you are the universe, you are God, you are source energy consciousness having a temporary human experience. And I think that shift in perspective changes everything about this experience. And so I just want people to understand that you might be starting to experience some things, some phenomenon, some synchronicities in your experience. You know, we also create our reality as co-creators here. Some things that make you think there's more going on to this situation than you've been told, essentially. So I want to give those people some encouragement, because my journey was a little bit rough because I didn't really have that support at the time. And I'm not judging, because I think I was surrounded by a lot of people who were in a state of fear, really. So it just was like difficult to find the people that had moved out of that, kind of moved beyond the fear state. So I just thought I'd give a little bit of history and context about my own awakening experience, especially for those who are maybe starting to go through it themselves, and know that you're not alone. You are a being of light and love having a human experience. You are never alone. There are countless beings extraterrestrial races and beings who are here to help us with this ascension journey, moving into the next level of consciousness. And so you're not alone in this journey. You are supported by not just beings of the incarnation, but beings not in the incarnation, beings of light, beings in non-physical form. So that's just a little bit of a rundown on my own history and experience. And I think this is an amazing time. I mean, we incarnated to be part of this journey, this ascension journey, and I think it's an amazing time for us. And I'm actually really excited about what's going to unfold, because I've been told countless times, ET contact is right around the corner for us as a species. Understanding who we are and our place in the galaxy and the cosmos. So it's really an exciting time and not a time to be afraid. So I'll go ahead and end this video on that note. But I am sending everyone love and light, and I hope that you're feeling good and feeling hopeful about the future, because I definitely am. So I'm sending you love and light, and I will talk to you soon.